MAGA is a movement that has zero principles, and I can prove it. I need you to hear 3 specific things that Thomas Massie did that made him lose his primary in Kentucky last night, because when I list them, you're going to think I'm talking about a MAGA hero. You need to stay with me, because what happened in Kentucky last night is proof that MAGA is a movement about one man and not about ideas. It's a cult, and it's always been a cult. You're really going to want to see this. Hi, I'm Jay Black. I'm a comedian. I do 2 videos every single day talking about news and politics. If you like what you see, please consider subscribing. Here's what you're going to hear from the Trump people about Thomas Massie. They're going to say that he was an obstructionist, that he was impeding the president's agenda, that he sided with the Democrats. Donald Trump himself called him, and I quote, the single worst congressman in history, which is an amazing thing to say when Jim Jordan exists and is still in Congress. Stephen Miller produced a video that said he always sides with the communists, which proves my point that you could offer $200 trillion to any single person in MAGA to explain what communism is and be safe with your money. Trump's Republican Party wanted to get rid of Thomas Massie so bad that they spent more money than anyone has ever spent on a primary before to make sure that he was gone. And you know what? Last night it worked. Thomas Massie lost his job. But what was his crime? What did he do that upset Donald Trump so much? Thomas Massie voted with the Republicans 91% of the time. That's pretty good. That's an A-. He broke from them 9% of the times. And what were some of the things that he broke with them on? Let's go through it. First, he opposed the war in Iran. He actually introduced legislation to stop Trump's illegal strikes in that country. Why did he do this? Well, he believed in, what's the phrase? He believed in no new wars. Where did I hear that before?
Under Trump, we will have no more wars, no more wars, no more wars.
Second, he voted against the big, beautiful bill. Why? Because he knew that it would add trillions of dollars to the debt. That's not a secret. Even Republicans who were with Trump understand that it's going to add to the debt. But he did not want there to be profligate spending. Wasn't that a MAGA promise? Because Thomas Massie kept it, Donald Trump did not. Finally, he pushed for the release of the Epstein files. And personally, I think this is the thing that upset Donald Trump the most. Because I think you'll remember when Donald Trump came into office, he and his collection of sycophants, incompetents, and people who went to prom with their cousins all said, we're going to release them. We have binders of Epstein files that we're going to release. Remember Pam Bondi pointed to the binders? They're all coming out soon. And then all of a sudden, when Donald Trump figured out that he was in it more than Jesus was in the Bible, he didn't really want to release them anymore. When Donald Trump went from we have binders of Epstein files to Jeffrey Epstein, the New York financier, Thomas Massie went around the Washington leadership that was protecting Trump to get the job done. Almost like, I don't know, there was a swamp around Donald Trump protecting him, and Thomas Massie decided to drain it. Epstein files, no new wars, stop profligate spending. 3 promises that Thomas Massie kept, and that so upset Donald Trump, he used millions of dollars from billionaire donors to get him out of office. One of Massie's own constituents said it best at the concession party last night, and let me quote it exactly. He said he and Trump had the same campaign promises, and he stuck with them. He was courageous enough to not toe the line when it was going against what he had promised. And unfortunately, he was punished for it. And one of the people who voted against Thomas Massie said it best as well. He said, I voted against him because Donald Trump told me to. So let's be very clear about the message MAGA voters sent to the world last night. They were offered a congressman who kept the promises and believed in the principles that they espouse, and they kicked him out for a hand-picked choice of revenge from Donald Trump. See, because whatever MAGA might claim to be, at the end of the day, Donald Trump is Jabba the Hutt, and MAGA is Salacious Crumb hanging out at his slimy tail and laughing at every single thing he says. And the scariest part about all of this, it worked perfectly, because now every other Republican got the message. If you actually try to stick by the things you believe in and those things go counter to what one man wants, you're out of a job. So welcome to the movement with no principles. MAGA showed itself for what it was last night. People who don't believe in anything except one man. One gross, melting pile of sherbet man named Donald Trump.